The Phoenix are in and the 36ers are out. The final playing game is over and we are finally into the playoffs. I mean, well, not for another couple of weeks, but the playoffs are now. We know the four teams. And this was an interesting game today. So let's go through it. Let's recap it right now. It was literally a tale of two halves. You had the 36ers up by 15 or 16 by the end of the second quarter by halftime. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix had like their lowest scoring half in their entire club history in the 170 plus games they've been around. They were down to 26 points. Literally nothing was going their way. They couldn't stop the 36. I mean, the 36ers weren't doing too much better. They were up by 20, but like 45 points in the first half usually is a pretty low scoring half for the losing team. So for the winning team, you can see like the offensive struggles on both sides. But then whatever Matt King gave him, the special Space Jam juice that he gave them, they like roared back. They did the comeback that the Kings attempted to do the other night, but successfully. So congrats to the Phoenix. They finally made it back to the playoffs after their grand final charge they did a few years ago. They're finally back in there. They are versing the Aurora Hawks on the 28th of February. And this is all thanks to guys like Matt Hurt, Ben Ayre, Angus Glover, Owen Fox. But they're three guard players that they're playing. They didn't even need Nathan Sobey on the court as much as you typically want that high volume scorer. Their defensive efforts, they shut down Kendrick Davis beautifully. They probably did the best job I've probably seen all season long. He wasn't just getting to his mark. I mean, he wasn't getting those ticky-tacky fouls that a lot of the star players get. But it's the postseason. I'm so glad the whistle was swallowed. There was so much more of a cleaner play. Once Phoenix started getting going, they were not being able to stop, and the 36ers just turned on each other. Did you hear the report? Was it Casey? I can't remember her last name. Reported that Montrezl Harrell was blaming DJ on defense. You can't do that to your teammate in a playing game. You need to be together. You need to work together, and they just turned on each other, which just sums up the 36ers season all year long. So this 36ers team that looked like they were unbeatable a few weeks ago is now beaten. They are now out in the play-in. They did not make the playoffs. The 36ers still haven't made the playoffs since 2019, and rightfully so. The four best teams are in the playoffs, so pretty much the play-in has been redundant. It's just added a couple of extra games, and the four teams are staying exactly where they were before the play-in. I mean, it does add a lot of fun, but that's probably a discussion for another day. Anyway, shout out to the Phoenix. Now we know the playoffs. We have the Phoenix and the Hawks. Who's going to win that? Melbourne versus Perth. That's going to be good. I will probably do a preview before the games start, but that is not until a few weeks. We have the FIBA break now. Let's go.